In Better Travel today, did yesterday's snow get you thinking about getting somewhere south soon? Like now?
Travel expert Jeanenne Tornatore is here to talk about some great spring break destinations, whether you're in college or not. Hey, Jeanenne, how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
All right, the first thing I think of is Daytona Beach. Is that still a hot spot, or am I old?
Maybe not for families, or maybe, I don't know.
You know what? I'll tell you something. The entire state of Florida is a hot spot. It is a perennial favorite, and it is popular in every single spot that there is a hotel on a beach. So Florida is a hot spot, Mexico, Hawaii. The thing about Florida that keep in mind is that a lot of these destinations that are really hot, places like Orlando, where we're seeing most of the remaining availability are actually at luxury properties. Places like the Ritz-Carlton Grand Lakes in Orlando. And so really your power play here is if you want to head to some of those hot spots you haven't booked yet and you're looking at some of those more luxury properties, look to see how many points you've saved up from your business travel this year and use those to help pay for at least part of your stay. So that's really kind of the way to get into some of those destinations at this point.
So if you haven't booked anything yet, and you keep looking and you're watching, okay, the prices are only going up, what's your advice? Do we book everything together? Where can you go for a bargain?
Well, you look at alternative destinations, which we're seeing more and more travelers do these days. They're waiting to go to Florida during the off season in the summer, and during spring break, they're looking for destinations where they can save a little bit more and they'll avoid some of the crowd. So one destination that we're seeing emerging as a fun spring break getaway is Nashville, Tennessee. Now this has been on the rise for quite some time, but not necessarily during this particular season. It's one of the fastest growing hotel markets in the country, particularly for these cool historic boutique properties, places like the Noel, which is a really cool tribute hotel, built in the 1930s, has been transformed. But those boutique hotels, I like to stay at in a city like Nashville because I think you get that more authentic, cool experience. So look for places like that, those smaller cities. Louisville is also another good option. You know, you've got Churchill Downs, a burgeoning restaurant scene. Those are really fun, smaller cities. But just cities in general, we're seeing more people look to this time of year. Places like DC, Boston, Chicago, because you know, these are big business travel cities during the week, but they kind of emerge as leisure destinations on the weekend. And when those business travelers go home, you swoop in as a leisure traveler. You can take advantage of really great rates, you know, promotions that'll give you 20% off hotels. So that's really the way to go, especially over spring break. If you only have a few nights, do it on the weekend.
Jeanenne, people might throw things at me here in the studio, but are people taking cold destination spring break vacations, like skiing? That sounds kind of good to me.
Skiing is going to be so hot this year. If you look out west to places like California and Colorado, they are getting 12 inches a day. It's one of those historic seasons where a lot of the ski resorts are staying open an extra few weeks at the end of the season, some of them even until Memorial Day weekend. So it's going to be a big year for skiing. It's going to be tough to find availability during those spring break weeks because of all the snow they've received.
That's interesting.
So what's your pick for families, especially if you're trying to be on a budget and you still want to go to one of those hot destinations?
Well, you know, for one of my favorite destinations for families, I'll give you a couple. One really close nearby is Washington, D.C. I love Washington, D.C. in the spring because you're beating all those summer crowds, those big groups that come in. For families, there are so many great free museums like the Smithsonian, and early April is cherry blossom season. It just doesn't get any more beautiful in the city than that. You have great properties downtown, places like the Marriott Marquis that are right in the center of everything. It's just easy to get around this city with the metro. Another one of my favorite family destinations that maybe it's a cold weather, but I love it, is Montreal, and that's drivable from folks in Hartford. So, you know, again, that's one of those ones that you can look at on the weekend, but there are so many great fun things to do for families in Montreal. And if you want to take the long escape across the country, San Diego, this is, you know, kind of my beach alternative to Florida is hitting San Diego, where you don't feel the crowds that you do in Florida, and there are just so many great family-friendly properties there.
Can we talk Hawaii? I've never been. I want to go. Is it okay? Can I just go, Jeanenne?
You can go. You know what? I was just looking at properties there actually for my family on Maui. There's amazing family-friendly properties there. The Residence Inn, which give you free breakfast every day. You would not think this is a Residence Inn. It's absolutely gorgeous with a fire pit and a pool. And so yes, there are, you know, ways to do it. Again, being flexible is one of your best bets. If you don't have to like travel on a week when your kids have off school, wait until the end of April when all the spring breakers come home, and that sweet spot up until Memorial Day weekend's a really good time to hit places like Florida and Mexico and Hawaii.
Yes, you just got to pull them all out of school and say, finish the work on the trip.
Or have the grandparents come in town and stay with them.
Oh, now we're thinking.
All right, well, we appreciate your time and thank you for some great ideas. I think people were afraid maybe that they've missed out, but there's still time to book.
Real quick, Jeanine, where, like if you had to leave tomorrow, you had to pick a destination to go to, where would you go?
Okay, I know this. I'm going to Louisville, Kentucky. It's just a cool little town. There's so many fun things to do for kids. There's actually a national park near there where you can explore the caverns, really cool caverns down in Kentucky. So that's going to be my pick because it's different and, you know, my kids haven't been there before.
Well, thank you so much. Louisville, Kentucky. Never would have put that on my wish list. Thanks, Jeanine. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thanks.
All right, and Jeanine has a great blog where you can learn about her recommended travel destinations and how to save money getting there. That is JeanenneTornatore.com. Click on blog when you get to the home page.
All right, you've heard of dirty blonde as a hair color, but have you ever heard of the dirty brunette look?
It's a thing for spring. We'll show you what that's all about on the other side of the break.
I know I hate to do this to you, but I gotta leave.
What? Again?
I got to. I have to catch a boat.
Last time was a plane, now it's a boat.
I gotta get on a boat. Yes, I'm going on a seal watch at Project Oceanology, and the boat is leaving in 1 hour, so I have to be on it. That doesn't give me much time. So
I got this.
You got it?
Finish it on my own.
Nice to see you. I apologize again. I feel like I'm walking out on you.
Do a Facebook Live if you find any seals.
Okay, if I see any
what's
seals.
your best seal noise?
Oh, 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 oh,
Okay.
oh.
Why don't you work on that?
Goodbye.
We'll be right back.